Hey, good morning. I'm Gabriel Spitzer. It's Friday, and this is Seattle Now. This week, Too Beautiful to Live co-host Andrew Walsh and author Geraldine DeRuiter are here to break down the week. But first, let's get you caught up. Seafair kicks into full gear this weekend with a 3-day festival at Genesee Park Friday through Sunday. Each day features hydroplane races, live music, and of course the Blue Angels. By the way, admission today is free. Organizers say attendees will need to enter through metal detectors. Seattle police have said they'll increase staffing this summer at large events. The cost of home insurance in Washington has jumped more than 55% over the past 5 years, according to a new report by the company LendingTree. The report blames the rising risk of natural disasters driven by climate change and supply chain disruptions that make it more expensive to rebuild homes. But despite the increase, Washington homeowners still pay less than most people, ranking 40th in the country for the overall cost of insuring a home. And speaking of rising rates, State Attorney General Nick Brown is pushing back against Puget Sound Energy's plans to raise utility rates. PSE wants to increase electric rates by nearly 30% over the next 3 years and gas rates by 20%. Brown says those increases are excessive. The utility says the rate hikes are needed to pay for capital projects and meet future energy demands. The increases have yet to be approved by the state's Utility and Transportation Commission, which is hosting public comment hearings this fall. Check back in for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. It's Friday again, the end of a long week. It's been a tough news week here for our city. We have the shootings and wildfires and turmoil at the Seattle Police Department. But we are making a conscious decision to try and keep it light here this Friday morning. For the latest on Sunday's shooting and the ouster of Police Chief Sean Barnes, you can head to KUOW.org. But for now, we're going to bring some levity. And we have a couple of world-class levitarians here to help us do that, starting with Andrew Walsh. He is co-host of the Too Beautiful to Live podcast. Andrew, thanks for being here again.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the invite.
And Geraldine DeRuiter is here. She is the everywhereist, an author, a blogger. Geraldine, thanks for coming back.
I didn't know levitarian was a word.
Oh, I just made it up. But feel free to put it on your business card. All right. So with that, we're going to jump right into the big story of the week, at least our version of the big story. And that is, you should be packing your earplugs probably today, maybe comforting your dogs, because the Blue Angels are in town this weekend. After a couple of practice runs on Thursday, this 50-plus year tradition rolls on for Seafair Weekend Festival. And for some background, the Blue Angels are part of the U.S. Navy, and their job is strictly to perform. They're meant to showcase the Navy and its abilities. They're an aerobatic team, the second oldest one in the world. And the local connection is that they fly Boeing FA-18 Super Hornets. So this is partially kind of like a nod to our region's aerospace roots, but not one that is universally beloved. In fact, it's hard to find a more controversial conversation topic here in Seattle. There is a lot of hate and a lot of love for the Blue Angels. So first off, let's just, drop a final verdict. Yay or nay on the Blue Angels. Geraldine? All right, locking you in on that. How about you, Andrew? Come on, guys. There's no middle ground on this issue. Pick a side.
Here's the thing. I feel bad saying, I don't really care. Do I think it's $40 million a year to run this program? Do I think that is a waste of resources? Yeah, kind of. Also, in the grand scheme of what our military spends money on, $40 million is nothing. They probably spend $40 million on buttons. So it's not that much. Do I like the Blue Angels? Not really. Do I hate the Blue Angels? I have to deal with them 2 days out of the year. Sometimes I'm not even home this weekend. I don't have pets. I feel bad for animals who have to deal with it. It was a lot more annoying when I lived kind of more downtown or in Capitol Hill, kind of under those flight paths. If people are like, yeah, I love them, I'm like, okay. If people are like, yeah, I hate them, I'm like, okay.
You can get behind that too.
Well, the conflict actually lives within me, like kind of both extremes of the argument, because everything that you say about jingoism, military, the military-industrial complex, the money that goes into it, the pollution. I mean, the list of things that people who don't like this complain about, I'm on board with all of those. But also, I love it when I don't get to see them that much anymore, because usually I just see the practice, loops or whatever. And I'm up north now, and I don't think they go as far north as I live now. And I miss it. Like, if you're just doing your own little thing and all of a sudden something just rips the sky open above you, like, I cannot help but to be just like, I freak out. I'm just like 5 years old again, just like looking at the sky, hoping that it happens again. Yet I can't defend my love of it. It's kind of like fireworks on the 4th of July.
See, I think I used to love that stuff when I was 5, but now that I'm 50, I can't hack it anymore. Like,
really?
Unexpected loud noises will set me back like several days.
Really?
Oh,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, the nuance and the ability to sort of hold two ideas at once are things that the two of you share, but maybe not with our listeners, because we asked listeners for their opinions about the Blue Angels and to leave us voicemails and giving us their take. And I would say it's one of the more polarizing questions we've ever asked around here. So for starters, we're going to hear from somebody who's actually a really big fan. Let's give a listen to that tape.
I think the Blue Angels are great. I've lived in Seattle since 2018, and it's quickly become one of my favorite traditions in the city. I always try to get down to a lakeside and feel like I'm in Top Gun Maverick rather than just watching it.
Danger zone!
Oh, I'm sorry, you've lived in Seattle since 2018. Like, I'm sorry. Come to me when you remember when South Lake Union was a Shakey's and nothing else, kiddo. Since 2018.
Opinion invalidated.
Yep. Next.
No, wait a second. They're clearly elite pilots, right? I mean, if you haven't seen the Blue Angels, the tricks are astonishing. They seem like they violate the laws of physics. I mean, can you sort of empathize with the appeal of the Blue Angels?
Oh, certainly. I mean, I was telling you guys before, I won't get into all the embarrassing details, but me and my buddy more than 10 years ago now went on the roof of his house to watch them do their practice rounds in the days leading up to Seafair. Again, this is a while back, and I was so drawn to it that I forgot until halfway through that I'm just like deathly afraid of heights and had to crawl back into his bedroom window. But that's how much the pull is there for me.
I will say, so my father was career Air Force, and he loved planes. And so there is some part of me that does get a little nostalgic, and it does hit me in the feelings just a little bit. I also have to say, I thought for many years as a kid growing up in Seattle, I thought the Blue Angels were ours. Oh. I didn't realize we shared them with the country. So that was a little bit of a bubble bursting for me. I was a little bit sad. Once I found out that like everybody got them, I was like, oh.
Well, love it or hate it, you got to admit these things are loud. I mean, shockingly loud. Andrew, I know that you're like a recent dog dad, right? So
yeah.
How are you prepping Lucy for this madness?
Well, she's only 6 months old right now. I don't know how she's going to respond. Again, we're pretty far up north. We're in the Northgate area, so I don't even know if it's really going to affect us much. But I was really proud of her on 4th of July because, again, my feelings about the Blue Angels are very similar to my feelings about the 4th of July. Like, I like fireworks. Like, there are some guys, I live like right off of Aurora. I live in the part of Seattle that is always in the newspaper, but not in a good way. And there's these folks who will like do their own fireworks show like right in the middle of the intersection outside my house, and the dirtbag in me loves it so much. Like I'll go out there with a can of beer and just be like, hell yeah. But now that I do have a life that I have to worry about and my dog, that got a little bit too close to home for her. But aside from that, she was really chill about the other fireworks in the city, and there were a lot of them this year. So I'm hoping that she'll be pretty chill about this.
Well, all right. Our hearts are and our thoughts and prayers are with you. And with all the pet owners out there, we did hear from quite a few pet owners. Here's one message from a listener who had concerns about their critters.
I think it's really past time, frankly, to hang up the tradition of the Blue Angels flyovers. It's frankly an oppressive weekend for a lot of people and pets, and you can't really explain tradition to a pet.
That person sounds deeply put upon.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah,
So,
they do.
are we ever going to get rid of the Blue Angels? I mean, is the grumbling as much part of the fun as the actual show itself? I don't know. You guys ever see Seafair without the Blue Angels?
I feel like there's any city that might make the leap, it might be Seattle because of what we're hearing from the public radio audience right now. I could sort of see the well-meaning Seattleites saying, hey, we need to end this tradition.
Which is wild because we are such an aerospace town.
Yeah, I do kind of like that connection.
So it is a complex thing. I will say, I do feel like the fact that it is a recruitment tool is strange to me, that we have this event that is a city event and it is so near and dear to everyone. And then it is the military showing its display of might, talent, and fortitude. You're like, that feels weird for pirate festival. So there is some disconnect there, I have to say.
Not to call you out, but the pirates are also recruiting, so you know. So you got to keep that in mind, too.
And heavily recruiting,
Exactly.
actually.
All right. Well, look, in case you need it for planning purposes, the schedule this weekend is 3 air shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 3:15 to 4:30. So make whatever preparations make most sense for you. All right. Well, it's not just the Blue Angels this weekend. Just real quick before we move on, Seafair overall, yay, nay, your thoughts?
I actually really enjoy Seafair. I never participate, which is terrible. I do not dress up as a pirate, and I do not eat enough fried food. So I really need to observe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need to observe Seafair more. But I just remember when I was a kid, I remember the torchlight parade, who would do like the step dancing for the torchlight, which I friggin' loved. I remember the pirates showing up. I remember just sitting there eating cotton candy and ingesting way too much sugar and just having the time of my life as like a small child in Seattle in the 80s. So it is near and dear to my heart.
How about you, Andrew? Seafair? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I generally thumbs up, but like most things in life, I kind of enjoy it via proximity. I've never actually been before because I'm not fun. So many things in my life is about like watching other people have fun and really getting a kick out of that. Like I used to live on Capitol Hill and I had this great little office up in the attic and I would watch all the people go to the concerts and go out on a nice Friday night. And I was like, good for you, young people. That's great. That's great for you. I'm in the attic.
All right. Well, listen, folks, we're going to move on to our next topic now, but we are going to stay in a sort of airborne kind of zone here. Seattle police are still searching for the two men who parachuted from the Space Needle last week. They were doing something called base jumping, which is an extreme sport that involves jumping off of a stationary object and deploying a parachute, hopefully. People got video both from the observation deck and from the ground, and it is kind of wild to watch. They climbed over the glass railing of the observation deck and then just took off. One of them did a backflip. Aside from the obvious question of like, what the hell would possess you to do something like this? What do you guys make of this stunt?
I don't like it.
I hate it. Yeah, I'm with Andrew. I hate it so much.
Why?
I need a second to actually collect
yourself.
Yep. Andrew, do you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I've already established that I'm super afraid of heights, so that might play into it for me a little bit. I hadn't even watched the video until last night because I knew I was going to be on the show. Like, I didn't want to watch the video that people had captured with their cell phones of these two guys jumping, like climbing over this wall and jumping. I went to the top of the Space Needle once, and this was before the renovations, before it had the glass floor, and I had a bit of a panic attack up there, just sort of like looking out over the edge. So this kind of stuff just generally freaks me out, even if it's done in like kind of a legal way or, you know, some sort of a regulated way. Anything involving heights and daring do really just kind of upsets me. And just seeing these guys just scramble over that glass wall just gave me a really bad feeling. And the thing that I'm left with, and not to be glib about it, but I understand that the city has much more pressing matters right now, and the police department has much bigger matters right now. But I'm really surprised that these guys just parachuted down in the middle of the city center and nobody caught them. How do you just do something so brazen and then just disappear, not even into the night, but into the setting sun?
Floating
Yes.
to the ground at a very slow pace.
Yeah, it's not like they were hidden.
Yeah.
All right, Geraldine, do you feel like you can confront this now?
I mean, for me, what it is there's just the degree of hubris, right? The degree of hubris in any sort of extreme sport for some reason rankles me. And granted, it's their lives. I guess they can do whatever they want, but I kind of want to drag them over to their mothers and have their mothers deal with them
Right.
or their fathers. But I think there's something else, which is I have a lot of anxiety in public spaces because we live in America. And we know what can happen in public spaces. And so when there is something unexpected like that, if I saw two people all of a sudden rush through in what appears to be some sort of tactical gear and then start climbing over something, I would probably go into a panic in a way that I can't describe. Just watching that video of the two of them when they go over the barrier, some woman actually screams, "Oh my God." And that is how I felt. I was I would be terrified. And I also would think that possibly I was watching someone go to their death.
Yeah, you have no idea.
You have no idea what is happening in that moment. And I think to cause that sort of panic among people who have not consented to it is such a deeply selfish act. It is so profoundly selfish. But beyond that, you are base jumping in. That is such a congested area. The number of dangerous places that you could land, the number of people that you could potentially injure down there, and the fact that emergency resources could come into play and innocent bystanders could be hurt because you wanted to get GoPro video that you can't even show anyone but your Mountain Dew drinking friends who are "Wow, man, that was so extreme." I don't know, maybe just get some hot Cheetos and sit around and find some sort of sensory overload in another way.
Hot Cheetos is about the level of adrenaline junkie that I am comfortable with.
Same.
You think we're ever going to see that video footage?
That's a good question. I know I'm never going to see it.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that video footage and, whatever becomes of those base jumpers, or as I like to think of them, the sort of Space Needle D.B. Cooper wannabes. All right. So we're going to move on to our next topic. It's been chaos this week for a very specific group of people, Washington's law school graduates. As the state bar's July exam was canceled after hours of technical issues in Yakima, so there's now 645 graduates who have been basically left out in the lurch. The state bar's only administered twice a year, and it's only administered in two cities, Tacoma and Yakima, even though the state's law schools are in Seattle and Spokane. So that means that students had paid for hotel rooms for this multi-day exam. They had made arrangements to be there for, number of days at a time, only to be turned back on day one. And the test takers have been taking to social media since then. People are incensed. One student said that they had spent thousands of dollars on the exam, on studying, and on hotel rooms, and now they've spent the last 90 days doing nothing but studying for this test. Then they get there and there's just this massive letdown. So first of all, let's just put yourself in a law school graduate's shoes for a second. What would you do if you had spent all this time prepping for the test and you get there only to be told, sorry, our IT guy screwed up, got to go home?
My heart goes out to these guys, big time. I have never had to prepare for anything even close to that before, but I understand the prep that goes into it. And just imagine the momentum, all of the emotion and anxiety that goes into stepping into that room to take the test, all of the preparation. And now it's going to be postponed by however long it's going to be. And you lose all of that. You've got to extend this period of your life. And that doesn't even address what you were talking about, the money concerns about, finding a hotel there. People were paying for childcare back home because this is out in Yakima. My heart really goes out to these folks.
Yeah. Geraldine?
I will say, I do think it's a terrible idea to tick off a group that is...
might be a bit litigious.
It also has, a strong sense of justice.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know what the solution is. Somebody was saying, make it, because they've come this far, they're basically lawyers, so just make the bar exam optional. And I was like, oh, I don't know if somebody came up to me and was like, yeah, so I passed medical school on a technicality. Let's open you up. I'd probably not be cool with that. But I do realize that with law, it's a little bit more nuanced. Like you continue to learn as you go. But I don't know, maybe we should see which law graduates are willing to base jump from the Space Needle. Well, I'm trying to thread this through, and which ones hate the Blue Angels.
Yes. That's the cohort that you're looking for?
I don't know.
The solution that you're suggesting, basically allowing these law school graduates to practice law without having passed the bar at all, is exactly what the law schools are asking for. All three law schools in Washington State, it's UW, Seattle U, and Gonzaga, have basically asked the state Supreme Court to just, let these graduates off the hook and let them practice law. Does that seem like a good idea?
Temporarily until they can take the next test, or forever?
I think forever.
Oh, that's different.
Well, I will just point out one thing, that the court did allow a similar exception like this in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. It gave them something called diploma privilege, is what it's called, which lets them just sort of like be like, hey, you've got your JD, you can be a lawyer. No, don't worry about the bar exam. And they were never required to go back and pass it later. And supposedly there have not been an increase in disciplinary complaints or professional conduct actions or that kind of stuff. So it hasn't been a catastrophe when we did this once before. Maybe the bar exam should go the way of the SATs.
I'm not saying we got to get rid of the bar exam. Everybody just calm down for a
second. Also, wait, what happened to the SATs? I haven't taken them in 30 years.
Yeah, well, a lot of colleges don't require them anymore, and some won't even accept them. So,
whoa. Yeah, I don't know. But now I feel like when I meet with any legal representation, I'm going to say, hey, what year did you graduate?
You're going to want to ask.
What'd you get on your test?
Yeah. Was it 2020? Because if so.
I wanted to ask both of you what the highest stakes test or exam type situation you've had to study for was and how you did on it.
So when I got to the UW, my Spanish was incredible. My Spanish was really, really good. And I was burnt out on Spanish. I had studied it. I was fluent. I could write essays in Spanish. And so I was like, I'm not taking another Spanish class, and I am not going to take the placement exam, which will exempt me from future Spanish classes. So I got all the way through my UW academic career, and I am at my last quarter, and I realize I have not met my foreign language requirement. Now, if I had taken the Spanish exam when I had first gotten there, I would have tested out immediately, no problem. But now it's been 4 years. I haven't spoken Spanish in those 4 years, and I'm like, I have to test into second year Spanish. Otherwise, I have to stay extra at the UW, and my scholarship will not cover that. I'm about to graduate, but I can't, right? I'm about to be in a mess. And I was like, okay, my Italian, which I grew up speaking, it is what it is. But my grammar is not that great. My writing is not that great because I never write in Italian. So I was like, let's just try taking the Italian exam. So I walked in, took the Italian exam, had no idea what I was doing, tested into third year. And the woman was like, so you tested into third year? I did not hear anything after that. I was just like, oh.
Grazie.
I was like, yeah, grazie mille, devo andare adesso. And that was it. But that was the most stressful exam I've ever taken.
Wow. All right. Good. That's a pretty good one. How about you, Andrew?
I don't have anything that can compete with that, to be honest with you. I will say, if you need an answer without, again, trying to sound cute about it, I will say doing these shows, I'm a lot more comfortable in this room with you guys now than I was the first time I did this, however many years ago. Or the folks upstairs sometimes invite me to be on Bill's Roundtable on Friday. And the first time I did that, I was so nervous I accidentally shaved my beard off in the mirror. Yes, I went to trim it, but my brain was I was so nervous about it, and I was reading and rereading and rereading, and it's live radio, and I've done live radio. I used to have a live radio show, but I was so nervous about it that I ended up showing up with a mustache. I'm not even joking.
Okay, sorry. It's
That
just
is a
like
true
bizarre
story.
like Bizarro Andrew shows
I was
up.
so nervous. I can't remember being that nervous in my life.
Oh my God, that's great.
I was so nervous, I accidentally shaved my beard. Fantastic. All right. Well, listen, we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Andrew Walsh is co-host of the Too Beautiful to Live podcast, and Geraldine DeRuiter is an author and a blogger. Thank you so much, Geraldine and Andrew.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for listening to Seattle Now. You can support the team by rating and reviewing the show in your podcast app. Today's episode was produced by Vaughn Jones and Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers. It was edited by Andy Hurst. Our production team also includes Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Paige Browning, and Patricia Murphy. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Gabriel Spitzer. Come back tonight for evening headlines.